would be transphobic if you don't want to lick their vagina. Or, like, stick your penis in their vagina. A hole is not a hole. I'm sorry, it's not. I saw somebody that made a joke on TikTok the other day, and they were like, what's the difference between gay and queer? And they were like, 50 pounds in a nose ring. So it's Pride Month. There's a shit ton of nonsense going on. Not so much the LGBT community. I mean, a little bit, like 5%. But like 95% of it is the queer community. I have Clarkson here. He's a gay man. You probably know him from TikTok. You are starting your own, you just started your own YouTube channel. I just started. Right? The lesbians warned gay men about 6-7 years ago that the homophobia was rampant in the queer activist community. Now they're coming for the gays.
We were just a little too focused on having sex with each other, I think.
Is my least favorite person on TikTok.
Partner and I are in the process of trying to find another person to play with us in the bedroom.
Just the fact that they said play with us. Would a gay man ever say that?
No. Actually, maybe a creepy old one.
A creepy old man. Oh yeah, that's true.
They're like, when I come over and play, I'm like, play what? Like badminton?
Play fetch. For context, this person identifies, I believe, as a trans, non-binary person. Their partner's a trans man. Their partner does pass as a man, like looks like a man. Gay men would probably find him attractive and then, you know, might want to date him until they find out he has a vagina. This person obviously, in my opinion, does not pass. Has not had any surgery, still walks around with their boobs hanging out, and goes on Grindr with their partner looking for gay men to have sex with.
Because of the DS dynamic that the two of us have, he is doing the bulk of the screening, the coffee meetups, and having all of those initial conversations. The cis men he's talked to have been completely unable to communicate wants, needs, boundaries, desires. One guy told my partner that he was interested in fun, and when asked to elaborate on what fun meant, fun. And when my partner was like, cool, well, if you can't tell me what you want, we're not going to do it because I don't want to accidentally assault you. The person was like, oh, you require way too much talking to do this.
Right there is the difference between men and women. 17 conversations before we even meet up. Gay men are like, are we down or not?
Well, that's what Grindr is. It's a pump and dump.
Literally.
So if you're mad that, like, a guy is being a guy, f*** women.
It's almost like these people don't really know what it's like to be a man.
And I'm sure they don't have genital preferences, so like f*** women then.
Yeah, because they'd be called transphobic if
right.
they had genital preferences.
Yeah, so like why are you going after men? Because this is how men act.
The cis men also tend to have few to no questions about what we're looking for, about what we want, anything. They're just sort of like, cool, I'm down, I'm in, where do I meet? This is obviously a red flag for us and a hard no. Meanwhile, my partner met a trans person for coffee today to talk about the potential of all of us playing. And this person showed up with a spreadsheet of their desires, boundaries, and aftercare protocol.
Aftercare protocol?
Like, are you going to call them to make sure they got home okay?
This is a lot. I can't keep up.
This person is a lot.
She talks so slow and in such a condescending way.
It's condescending. Like when you talk to dogs or kids, you talk like this. I've done a video about that before, and that's how you speak to people that you think are dumber than you.
It's like the teacher everybody hates because they don't want to be a teacher, and they actually hate children, and then they just like talk to them like they're scum. That's the vibe that I get from this. If I was into vagina, I would date women. I didn't, like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I could fuck a vagina, I would not be gay.
So this is a Grindr DM that one of my followers sent to me.
Send dick pic. I'm a trans guy, so it'd be a vagina, if that's okay. You can't pound my hole with a vagina. Respect them for saying it, but I guess they kind of had to, because they can't just send a picture of, like, a fake dick or anything.
Also, it's not consensual. He asked for one thing, and you're sending another. That's not consensual.
Also, you can see this person's a bottom. So, like, what is your whole purpose on here? What, are you gonna wear a dildo? Like, you're messaging bottoms on Grindr? If anything, you should be messaging tops, but that's none of my business.
Today I would like to talk about expansive masculinity and how I feel like my manhood is a non-binary manhood.
Are they more non-binary or more trans the bigger their nose ring gets? Because this one's massive.
Person is trans bull, not trans man.
Trans bull.
For years, I believed that I could never be a real man.
No, I have to stop it. I'm sorry. The voice is so unnatural. Like, I have to talk like that if I want to sound like a man.
Because I viewed masculinity as evil, inherently. And masculinity doesn't have to be inherently toxic. We can redefine and recreate and expand upon masculinity to make it something beautiful.
Almost like masculinity isn't toxic if it's not toxic.
Oh, but if you said that, you'd be canceled.
You're not redefining masculinity.
No.
It's just masculinity without toxicity.
That's literally it.
For me, personally, my manhood, I consider myself, my gender, at its base, man.
False. At its base is a woman.
Yes.
Let's be honest. And then you transition. but at your base, it's not a man.
I expand upon that. I'm a non-binary man. I'm a trans man.
Does that make sense to you?
No.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, but if it makes sense to them,
Right.
it makes sense to everyone.
Right. Because it's not self-ID. It's societally.
I don't think logic is applying to any of this post.
I'm a man who experiences gender in a different way from cis men, but I'm still equally a man.
Hold on. You're non-binary, but you're still equally a man.
See, that doesn't make sense. Like, these people will make it more and more difficult for themselves and simultaneously make it more difficult for society to understand them, and then continuously claim more oppression and more victim points because they're less and less understood.
That is
This is just-
such a good point.
It is
Such
a
good point.
perpetual circle, and they feed off of their own energy, off their own negativity.
They're deliberately confusing people and then complaining about
100%.
people confusing them.
And my version of masculinity is, the positive parts, right? Men can be caring, and men can be protective, and men can provide, and men can do a lot of things that aren't being toxic.
Okay, but here's the thing, so can women. Like, there's this whole idea, they reinforce such rigid gender norms where it's like, women are also caring and protective over their kids. It's just nurturing, right?
Right.
It's all the same shit. So it's like, why don't you just be a good human without having to, like, rigidly force yourself into these labels for validation?
Part of my masculinity and what affirms my gender as a man is what I can do for women. And protecting women feels super gender affirming for me. I love standing up for my trans women friends and checking in on them at the bar. That feels good. I think cis men have a lot to learn from trans men and the way we redefine and recreate masculinity into something better.
So this reminds me of when, like, there's a few videos of trans women going around of them saying that they're better women than women. Like, how dare you?
Sexist.
It's extremely sexist. It's saying, like, just because, like, a lot of them will say, I'm a better woman because I chose to be a woman.
Right.
Like, because I chose to transition. So
Because I chose
therefore-
to fit these stereotypes that
Right.
women have been fighting
Which is
against for
great.
years.
I describe my gender as handsome girl, pretty boy. Now, if you were to spell it like this, it is girl. It's not girl, it's girl.
So basically, she's already taking away. She's a culturally appropriating gay language, gay man language. Girl.
It's like, it's girl.
That's a gay man. That's
Yeah.
a gay man thing. Yeah.
It's not boy, it's boy. Not boy, boy.
That's a lesbian thing.
Is
So
it?
yes, boy, B-O-I is a lesbian thing. So she's already appropriating both gay and lesbian language, and she's probably not gay or lesbian.
I'm a handsome girl, pretty boy.
Guess what that girl's profession is? If you guessed teacher, you would be correct.
They're always teachers.
Why do you think that is? I have a theory. Why do you think
I
that
think
is?
that if you are a person who requires validation from so many people, especially validating nonsense, you're going to want to surround yourself with malleable brains that can believe that nonsense.
And be in a position of power that it's
Yeah.
easy to manipulate somebody like
Yeah.
that.
To sound like really stupid, but is the Boston Marathon longer than the LA Marathon?
No, all marathons are the same length. That's like common sense, I fear.
Okay, first
What do
of
you
all,
think of trans mask?
that's a tomboy.
That's not even a butch lesbian. That's
No.
literally an old school tomboy. Maybe like a chapstick lesbian, right? Like back in the old days of YouTube, right? The old school lesbians, it was like super femme, super butch. There was like a tomboy, chapstick lesbian in the middle. Like trans mask is now like somewhat in the middle. So like
Is this person a lesbian?
probably.
I-
I mean, she
I
says she
feel
likes
like-
her titties. Like
I
she likes
mean-
titties.
I just feel like they're using masculine as a reason to not shower. Her hair is greasy as fuck. Like, that's not masculine, that's just dirty.
That's just dirty. So
And
her,
also-
her being a man is also being sexist.
Well-
Again, because you're saying like that men
Men are dirty.
Masculine, right?
In order to be masculine, you need to have
Dirty.
greasy hair. Gross. Also, you don't have dysphoria. See, this is the that pisses me off because real trans people with dysphoria, this makes them look crazy.
I know that my friend Marcus would get a lot of dysphoria just from watching this video.
Yeah.
And from seeing her do this to her boob.
Right.
Like 100%.
There's a reason why they remove those parts of their bodies. Not because it's like they just want to go in to get plastic surgery. It's like they're dysphoric about it.
So we're seeing this trend over and over again of these people appropriating language when it has nothing to do with them, and then acting like they are the people that either created this language or they're the people that are making the rules when
Yeah.
you are not trans. And you're definitely not masculine, isn't it? Not as much masculine as you think anyway,
No,
because like
actually,
you look like a woman, you
You look like a depressed like woman who's
Yeah.
single in her 30s.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know.
Oh, this was another trans guy that messaged a gay guy on Grindr, and then somebody said
Okay.
this to me.
So you're heterosexual. No, I'm gay. Gay means homosexual, which means exclusive attraction to the same sex. Come on, bitch. Your sex is female and you're on an app for males. How is that heterosexual? Oh, honey, it's so early in the morning for a bit of light transphobia. You don't get to tell me who I am.
The homophobia is insane.
Just had a lovely interaction with a pooner. What is a pooner? On Grindr?
I think a pooner might
Like
be
a vagina?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's
Oh,
slang
okay.
word for a vagina.
Imagine being a homophobic woman using me as a costume and then having the audacity to speak to me like this when you're the one invading my space. Come on. Anyway, I love how she never answered the question. I also love how she tells me how happy she is. Sure sounds like it.
Like, I understand if you want to be a trans guy and date men, but like
Right.
calling yourself homosexual is inaccurate.
But
and
also,
it's homophobic.
I think it's very like, is biphobic a word?
Yes.
I think a lot of gay men who sleep with trans men are afraid of being labeled as bi.
Right. They might be a little bit more on the bisexual spectrum.
Right. Like I don't know. You're either gay, bi, or straight. There's three options. If you fuck a bisexual or a woman, a biological woman, then you are bisexual. If you're like into that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's not. Check out the videos that he does on his page. Go and click the link in the description below, and go and follow us both on TikTok because we make a ton of content there as well. And I will see you guys back here next Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves. Keep calling out the bullshit. Bye.
Bye, guys.